Hi single viewer, welcome back to my stream. My name is Sonja, I'm a motion designer, and today I'm going to continue with my work on the distant collab I'm doing with Lara Mascareño. You can find her on aralma_design on Instagram. She has these beautiful patterns that she designs, not just patterns, but she seems to focus on creating these patterns, and we've been put together as part of the distant collab, which was a challenge, I guess, to create together during the quarantine. So we've been paired, and I've been animating one of her beautiful designs, which is this bug design and pattern. And this isn't designed in such a way, what I mean by pattern is it's designed in such a way that it can be put onto a grid and always remain the same. And I've been animating it for the past few streams, as you have seen if you have watched the streams. If not, you can watch them on my YouTube channel. You can watch the replays over there. You can find me under Sonja Geracsek on most socials, as you can also see in my chat over here, and also the info for Lara Mascareño is here. And yeah, so I've been animating some of these bugs in the past few streams, and today I actually want to prep one of them, because one of them is not set up for animation yet, and that's this guy or this guy. They exist in two different colors, and I'm going to set it up to be ready for animation. And yeah, let's get right to that. Let's jump into Illustrator over here. I've already got the scene open. And as you can see, for animation, if you're not familiar with animation, to be able to animate something in Adobe After Effects, I need to set up my Adobe Illustrator in top layers, and everything that is in a top layer like this will show up as a layer in After Effects once I import it. If I don't do that, if I have everything in one layer, so let's assume this is all off, and everything I have in this is just in this one layer, like this little bug, which we will need actually, then everything will just show up as one layer, and you won't be able to touch all the parts underneath and inside. You can create shapes from a vector layer technically, but that's very heavy and work intensive, and let's not get into that. The most effective way to animate vector animation is to set it up in Illustrator to animate. And so all of these things that are inside of this layer, there's a group, I wouldn't be able to touch them. So what I need to do is prep this for animation. So I'm going to copy this, just Control-C, and Control-N to create a new layer, and I'm just gonna take this preset over here. Yeah, this one's fine. I'll just take this preset, and let's see. There should always be two artboards, so if something is reaching outside of your regular artboard, I think actually last time I used this one, because I wanted a small square, I think. But either way, it's important to have two artboards, because you want the second one, let's just go with this, you want the second one to allow any object that is outside of your main artboard to still be visible in After Effects. If you don't have that second larger artboard, anything that is outside of your first artboard will just be cut off. There'll be a straight line between on your artwork when it goes outside of that frame. So you always want to make sure that you have two artboards like this. This would be just cut off here at the artboard, and I would only have this head, and if I move it away, this body wouldn't come into view, it would just be straight cut off. So I want to avoid that, and I'm actually going to open one of my previous bugs. So that I know. Or actually, in this case, I ended up not having the second artboard because nothing is reaching outside of it. So let's just go with this. I'm just going to use a single artboard because I know nothing's going to be outside of that. And I obviously want to rotate this guy for him to be upright, maybe something like this. And when you rotate something and your bounding box is no longer, like if I had it like this and my bounding box, oh, my bounding box automatically, oh cool, that's a new update, I didn't know that. Okay, so previously when you rotated something, I think this is still the case in Photoshop, if you rotated, your bounding box would stay this shape and then you'd have to go up to Object, Transform and Reset Bounding Box. But I guess you don't have to do that anymore. That's pretty cool. This is why I prefer Illustrator over Photoshop. Oh yeah, but see, now it stayed that way, so I guess, I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, basically I want the bounding box to be where I want my object, and I think, can I also reset the position like I can in After Effects? No, I cannot. Okay. Now, I'm gonna move this over here a little bit. Okay, just fixing my gear. Okay, let's move in. And okay, so what I want is now I want to go inside the layers, and Lara has already prepped this really, really well. All I need to do really is Control-Shift-G to break the grouping, and then I want to highlight my layer, highlight this little circle thing, go to the 3 lines and release to sequence. That will now put every object or every group that was previously a singular layer into a top layer. So you can have layers inside of layers, but unless they are top layers, they won't show up in After Effects. So you definitely need to keep that in mind when you're setting up your animation. So, okay, here's some feelers in the bum. Let's call these feelers back. And actually, let's just, B is enough. Oh, and he has left and right. Okay, so this is... Let's say this is left, even though it's kind of like a, yeah. Feeler, oh, it's a singular one, it's not 2 actually, so maybe I don't want to call this feelers. Now comes the naming process. Feeler back, right. It's more right than left, right? Something like that. Basically you want to go through, you can just import it like this, you could, and everything would be called exactly as you see it here, layer 14, 13, 12, so on. But that's kind of annoying, at least to me, and also if you're working with other team members, if they don't know what these layers are, it's a little hard to keep track. So I like to name my layers. Sorry, I need to adjust my gear again a little bit. I like to name my layers so it makes sense what they are. And so I can make sense of them in my After Effects, especially if I have a bunch of layers and they kind of stack on top of each other. I want to have a good overview of what's going on. So this is feeler front right, and I didn't remove the S here. You want to try not to have any typos. Sometimes typos happen and you just have to accept it. But once you have a typo, you can't really change it. I mean, you can change the layer name in After Effects, but that won't retroactively change the layer name in Illustrator. So you want to be aware of that. But I mean, if you have a typo, as long as you can still read what it is, it's not really a big deal, is it? So this one is foot. I'm just going to call this foot 01. And I have a bunch of these. So I have a neat little script I can use for this. I think I have a Skillshare class on this as well. How to import, how to rename layers with a script. So if you're interested in that, just head over to classes.sonjageracsek.me. It's also in the chat here. So if you're interested in that class, it's either this one or this one. No, I think it's this one. This is where I go into how to do this script. Sorry, I was showing myself and not really the camera. So this is the class that teaches that, is a lesson on that in this class. Now let's go back to Illustrator, and the way it works is, I'm not going to recreate that class, and it's a few steps, but basically there is a script you can download that is already pre-made. You can now then save that script to your script folder of Illustrator, and then you can create an action to call that script. So this is my script action, and basically what it says is, let's see, can I see what it says? Can I somehow edit this action? No, it just exists. Okay, so I can't show you what it does, but basically you insert menu item, then you call the script in your menu as part of the script layer, and then you just give it a shortcut. And my shortcut is, I think, Shift F2, yeah, and then this window pops up, and then every layer that has the eye icon open, just the turned on icon, will be named with a layer sequence. So I want this to be foot underscore, and it's going to start with the serial number 1, and I can, to length means 0, 1, 0, 2, and so on. I can start it with a different number, but of course I want to start it with 1. And I can also say reverse layer order, and I think the layer order is from top to bottom, and reverse would be from bottom to top. Let's see. Yeah, so reverse is from bottom to top, and regular is from top to bottom. So if I want it from top to bottom, and this is the first foot, let's say, I'll just name it this way. And now I have foot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's super handy for this type of stuff. This is the body. This is, what's this? These like little tentacle things? I don't know. Okay. What shall we name those? Hands, mouth. Let's say hands. I know this it's an insect. It doesn't work the same way as a human to call it hands and feet, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm calling it. Okay. Now this one's set up, which is awesome. And now I want to go inside. No, not go inside. I want to save this as a second file. So first I want to save this as a first file, and these are all the bugs that I have, and I should have really set this one up before I started creating the duplicates, but it doesn't matter. So this one's bug 16, and now I want to create a new version, Control-Shift-S, save as, and I want this to be bug 17 because I have another color of this bug. So I don't need to set up these things again. I just need to go in here and find the other color, which is this one. I think that's the only other color. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this one into here just so I can take the colors, but I'm not setting this one up again because I have the positioning exactly the way I wanted. And what I can do is I can go to After Effects, I can animate this once, and then I just replace the Illustrator layers, and the animation will stay, so I don't have to animate this twice. I have the animation, and I replace the layers to be the new colors, and then I have 2 animations with once the effort. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm using this group selection tool. If you don't use this or don't know what it is so handy, and you can go to your Where are my keyboard shortcuts? Keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts. Oh, it's Control Shift Alt. Okay. So this usually doesn't have a shortcut. You have to set it yourself. And you go in here, you click on this. I have one already, but you click on this and you say Control Shift A. I forgot. It was Shift A. So A is the regular direct selection tool. And Shift A is a group selection tool. And what a group selection tool does is, even though this is a group, which means, let's go to the body, that's a little bit more obvious. Even though this is a group, and in order to grab just this part of the group, I'd have to click in and go like this. And then I can't click anything outside of the group. And the group selection tool allows me to click objects or paths inside of the group without having to ungroup this or jump inside. So it's really handy. And then I'm going to go over here, which is the select similar object, and I can even select an option: fill color, stroke, fill and stroke, stroke width, opacity, appearance, and so on. So I want to select all of the same color because they are going to go from this magenta to this dark purple. So I want to select all of them, and then I'm hitting I for the eyedropper tool, and I'm just going to drop the color of that. And then everything that's... Oh, which stripes are these? Oh, okay, that's fine. So everything that's this off-white color is now going to become this orange. Oh no, have I been coloring this in? I don't want to color in my original, so I'm just going to lock that. So every time I select something, it's not going to select my original or my new color. Did I? Okay. Why is it not selecting these? Are these lines? No, they're objects too. Oh, I was clicking the Start Editing Similar Shapes Together tool. I don't want that. I want the Select Similar Objects tool. Okay, so selected eyedropper. Then I'm going to color that in, and then all of these purple ones are now going to be the off-white. And that's it. This is how quickly I can color in multiple objects at the same time. Oh, actually, we also have these two, which are this other purple color. Yeah, that's how quickly you can color in the same object in the new colors. But these look kind of odd now. I think, yeah, I think these now have a stroke and they previously didn't. So I'm just going to select them separately. I'm going to go here. Yeah, and that removes the stroke. So the eyedropper tool doesn't just drop the color of the object. So unless you choose that specifically, but I chose all, fill color. Okay, so it will also check the stroke. So if it has a stroke, it will apply the stroke. If it doesn't have a stroke, it will not apply or remove a stroke that is already there. So you might want to be aware of that when you use this tool. Okay, so now I have this guy and I just need to save him. And now I have two bugs that I can animate. So I was trying to open After Effects earlier and I was having technical difficulties. So unfortunately I will not be animating today. I will just be taking you through Illustrator and some of the other features and quirky things that you can do in Illustrator. Yeah. So basically, just to go over what we were talking about. So yeah. I thought I didn't have enough time to show you how the script feature works, but actually, turns out I do. So I will show you how the script feature works. Blah, blah, blah. If you have only just joined, I have a script. It's called Rename Layers. And I'd have to look up the link where I found it, but I found it on an Adobe forum. And if you take my class, or if you join my newsletter, you can download the script file or have a look at the link that I also provide there for the script file. And you basically need to go into your C drive. Oh, sorry, I don't have that. I'm not showing you this properly, but basically you go to your C drive, you navigate to your program files, and you need to go to Adobe. Then you navigate to Illustrator, and you need to find the correct version that you're using, and then in supporting files, presets, yes, presets, then your language folder, there'll only be one folder normally, then scripts, and this is where you put your, it's a JSX file that you can copy paste into this folder, and then once you restart Illustrator, it will show up in file, scripts, and this is the file that I've been talking about just now. So this is the rename layers script file. And so I'll just take you through how you can set up an action so you can call this with a shortcut. So basically let's just do this from scratch. So I want to create a new action. So it's this plus symbol. Oh no, you actually can't see that. Hang on a second. I'm gonna have to change the view for the stream because the stream cannot see what I'm doing. Give me just a second, I'll be right back with the information that you need. Okay, here we go. Now you should be able to see, and so you see this menu, you can see this menu, and I was clicking on Windows, Actions, and then New Action, which is this plus symbol, create new action, then you name it something, rename L2. And default action, you wanted to give it a shortcut. The function keys work really well for this. I also have an additional shift. My original one is F2 plus shift, so I don't hit it by accident or, then you go record, then you stop recording because you don't actually want to record this action. You go back into the menu with the 3 lines up at the top here. And then you choose insert menu item. Then you want to find scripts, which is the menu. Once it's found it, you type in the name of the script. Then you click find again. It found it, and then when I hit OK, it's a functionable action now. And when I try it with Shift F3, it will show the rename visible layers or sub layers. So that's how you can create that. You will need that script though. So if you would like the script, head over to my website. You can sign up to my newsletter and have access to all of my free resources and also a free animation class and all kinds of free stuff only available to my subscribers. So you can do that to get the script, or if you don't want to do that, not forcing you, you can just Google rename layers script online and I'm sure you'll find it. It's super handy. It is so useful. I mean, with this, you might not be aware of how useful it actually is because I only had like 5 and 3 layers to rename, but there have been projects where I have over 100 layers and 50% of them are the same thing. So I can just name it thing 1 to 25 and then again 1 to 25 or whatever. So it's super, super useful. It speeds up your workflow incredibly. And also, if you didn't know how to expand a group, so if I have multiple paths, this would probably work best on this. So this is clipping mask, but ignore that. Let's assume these are multiple shapes that you want as single layers. You can highlight the layer, then highlight the target, and then you go to the 3 lines, the menu item. And unfortunately, that's not visible on screen right now, on stream right now. But once you click on the 3 lines, you can go to release to layers sequence. So not build, but sequence. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th menu item, I guess, a block of menu items. So that's super handy as well. Those are the 2 things in Illustrator I use the most for animating and prepping animation. So yeah. What else did I want to take you through? Let's have a look. So what I did for this is, I think, yeah, I imported the entire scene into After Effects, and so that way I know the positioning of each of these bugs, and I also know the positioning on each of these leaves. Of course, because I added a wiggle. Sorry, I need to drink something. I added a wiggle to each one of these leaves, and the bug is sitting on top of the leaf, so they wiggle like this a little bit. And so they're not going to stay in exactly the same position as the design, but I wanted them to start out in the same position because I want the design to work as it was intended by Lara. And yeah, for that, I just wanted to import all of the bugs and all of the leaves together before I start animating them, so that I can place them so the distance between the bugs and the leaves is the same, and it shows the same amount of pond water through equally everywhere, so it's very balanced. So that's what I did before I started animating, and then I animated and then I imported all of these bugs as singular template files. I call them template files because because they are potentially used multiple times in the scene, so I don't want them to be a scene as such, because for me a scene happens once, and any changes I do only happen in that one composition. But if I have a template file, I potentially use that template multiple times in my animation, so I cannot necessarily make changes, or I have to be aware that if I make changes in this one composition in After Effects, it's going to affect all the other compositions that I have in After Effects of this or all the instances I have of this composition. So T_name of file is always my naming system for template files. And yeah, so I imported all of the bugs, started animating them, which you'd be surprised how long it takes to animate all of this. I mean, all of these bugs only have very minimal animation. Their wings are flapping a little bit. If you're wondering what this looks like, all the past streams are on my YouTube channel, so you can watch the replays and have a look how it's been animated so far. But basically, yeah, it's only 4 seconds long, and it loops endlessly, so technically it's forever long, but the first loop is only 4 seconds long. But because I have so many, I have 16 plus bugs in here, and even though some of them have the same animation, I still have to go in and like shift some of the keyframes and sequence them so they're not all happening at the same time for all the duplicates of the bugs. So yeah, it's been a good week probably of animating this, and I'm surprised myself. I mean, I know how long animation takes usually, but I'm not used to creating this extensive of a pattern, so this is really a new approach to the kind of stuff that I animate. But yeah, it's really exciting. I really like it. It's so pleasing to me. I don't know, it's like what are those videos called? Like unexpectedly pleasing, or I don't know, but these things where something happens perfectly, like somebody throws a ball and it falls into a very tight hole, like perfectly without bouncing off, or somebody peels an orange in one go, like these types of videos. Like, that's kind of what this animation reminds me of. It's like, it's just so comforting animating it and then watching the result back. I don't know, it's very soothing. Soothing is probably the right word for it. Yeah, so I've had a lot of fun animating this animation, and yeah, of course the design is beautiful. Lara's design is just beautiful, so I love looking at it. I love the balance of colors. I love the design style, because it's not necessarily straightforward. You know, it's not your regular vector style illustration. It has this sort of hand-drawn feel of these like blobs and lines. It's not uniform like this. It's not uniform. It's kind of almost hand-drawn. And maybe she did do that. You can draw in Illustrator, and either way, I think that's the beauty of this design. It makes it feel really human and artistic, but at the same time, it's still vector art, you know? It still has those clean lines, very sharp colors. Even though it's pastel, it's still very, attention grabbing maybe. Or it holds your attention, you know, I don't get bored of looking at this. So this is why I really like this design, and I'm really happy to work on this. So even though it takes a long time, it has taken a long time to work on this, it's not that I dread working on it. I love it. It's really loads of fun. I'm really glad that we did this a distant collab together. Yeah. So I think this is really all that I can show you today because of technical difficulties. Next time I might finish the animation, or I might already be finished. Let's see how this goes. I might just finish it on my own time and then just post it on social media. So just have an eye out. Oh my god, what is it with the vowels with me today? Have an eye out for announcements on my social media, and see if I've posted the final result yet, or maybe there's going to be another stream of this. But yeah, once I'm finished with this, I'm going to need another project for the streams. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you're interested in me streaming more animation. What type of animation? What would you like me to do? What would you like to see me animate? Because it's definitely going to be animation. I'm not going to be a gaming streamer. I'm sorry. I'm a board gamer, but I'm not a video gamer. So whatever I'll be streaming, it will be animation. I could try myself at illustration if that's something that interests you. Or I'm on a drawing journey currently. I'm following a Skillshare class on drawing by Brent Everston. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I've already improved so much just with this 1 4-hour class, which I went through over several days. It's also intended to be that way. And yeah, it's amazing. So I'm really impressed with how quickly I'm improving my drawing. Maybe that's something that might interest you. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you're interested in. And basically, I'll see you next time, and I'll see you on the socials. Make sure to check me out on Instagram or TikTok. I mostly post tips and tricks videos on TikToks. Sometimes I do TikTok memes, but not so much. I try to stick to animation and classes and learning. And yeah. So Instagram and TikTok are my main social media channels. You can also find my work and my videos on YouTube, as well as my website, which is Sonja Geracsek, my full name without spaces.me. And yeah, I stream on Twitch, as you can see, probably, if you're watching this on Twitch. Otherwise, the replays will be available again on YouTube. And I hope to see you next time. Make sure to say hi if you come across my socials and let me know what you'd like to see. Okay, see you soon. Bye!